Hello and welcome back to our podcast. Today we'll talk about Israeli football and discuss different topics with you. We'll hope you enjoy, hopefully learn new things. Football in Israel is not just a sport. It is a part of the country's history, culture and society. The story begins in the period of the British Mandate. British soldiers and officials who already admired football and saw it as a part of their identity brought the modern game with them to Israel in 1917 and quickly drew local Jews and Arabs into playing and organizing matches. The games that were played back then were informal and played on improvised pitches, but they laid the foundation for the sport to become the most popular sport in the country, and for many, something to relate to and admire. Already in the 1910s and 20s, there are documented reports of football matches played in Yeshuvim, mostly between unofficial teams and youth groups. These games were simple, but they created excitement and sense of modernity and connection to Europe among the local population that a lot of came to Israel from Europe themselves. As the sport spread, clubs such as Maccabi Tel Aviv, Hapoel Tel Aviv, and Hapoel Haifa emerged, and with them came organized training, official matches, and the first derbies, which turned football into a central social event rather than just a physical activity. People would come together in groups to watch the games and would also connect with each other based on the teams they cheered for. The most crucial step in growing football's popularity was creating organized leagues under the British Mandate. Leagues like the Eretz Israel League, run by the local football association, from the late 1920s until 1948. The league provided a framework for football in Israel, competition and championships, rivalries, and helped turn clubs into institutions with leagues and made it a structured part of public life. After 1948, with the establishment of the State of Israel and the British live in Israel at the end of the British Mandate, football grew together with the new society. Mass immigration brought Jews from Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. Many of those people were already familiar with and admired football from their countries of origin. In a young independent country still searching for common culture and something to connect with, football offered something simple and accessible. Anyone could play in the street, watch local matches or follow the national team, regardless of language, background, or economic status. Football was an easy way to express themselves and to connect with each other. The media and the large fan base helped make football the most popular sport in Israel in terms of both players and spectators. Over the years, with constant league competitions and championships, growing media attention and the development of a national team turned football into a part of everyday life in Israel. Public matches appearing on newspaper, radio, and eventually television gave the sport a constant presence in the public. Talked much as politics and economics. Famous clubs and players became national symbols, and following them gave people a clear way to feel connected both to their cities and to their countries as a whole. Today, from children playing in schoolyards to big organized men's and women's football leagues, football is a big part of Israeli culture. It is the combination of early British influence, organized competition, media exposure, and its ability to connect very different communities that explains why football became so popular in Israel.
Thank you, Carmel. Today I'm going to talk about how football influences Israeli society and why it's so much more than just a sport here in Israel. Football is everywhere, in conversations, in families, in cities, and in daily life. It has become a cultural force that shapes identity, relationships, and the way people connect with each other. One of the strongest influences of football is its ability to bring people together who might otherwise never meet. When you look at a stadium in Israel, you see an incredible mix of people standing side by side, Jewish and Arab fans, religious and secular families. tourists, and locals. They all wear the same shirt, the same color, and cheer for the same team. They all experience the same excitement when their team scores and win, and the same disappointment when it loses. For many Israelis, including myself, being a football fan has become a part of who they are. It gives people a sense of belonging to something bigger than themselves. But football doesn't only unite people, it can also divide them. Team loyalty is very strong in Israel, and different clubs often represent different communities, cities, or values. Because of that, rivalries can get intense. Friends, neighbors, and even family members sometimes find themselves fighting or arguing because they support different teams. Supporting a club becomes a personal identity, and anyone who supports a rival team, anyone, can easily be seen as the enemy. The mix of unity and division reflects the complexity of Israeli society. Football breaks down social barriers and brings people together emotionally. But it also exposes the cultural differences that exist beneath the surface. And that's exactly why football is such a powerful part of life in Israel. It mirrors the country itself, passionate, diverse, connected, and sometimes conflicted. In the end, football in Israel is far more than just a game. It creates friendships and celebrations, but it also creates rivalries and disagreements. It shapes how people interact, how they see themselves, and how they relate to their communities. For many Israelis, football isn't just a game, just a hobby. It's a piece of their identity and a meaningful part of everyday's life.
Thank you, Dagniel. I want to discuss a different matter. I want to discuss how is football influenced how is Israel seen internationally. So, football is more than just a game. Across the world, it works as a cultural language, one that shapes how countries are seen, far beyond politics or headlines. Scholars, such as David Goldblatt, writing in journals like Soccer and Society, explain that football often acts like as a mirror of society, and, at the same time, as a powerful tool for shaping international images. When we look at Israel, this idea became especially interesting. International discussions about Israel usually focus on conflict, diplomacy, and security, but football offers a very different lens. Through sport, Israel is sometimes seen not as a political headline, but as a normal country participating in a shared global culture. One of the clearest examples is Israel's participation in the UEFA competitions. Israeli clubs and the national team regularly play against teams from England, Spain, Germany, and many other countries. On the pitch, Israel is not framed as a political issue, but as just another footballing nation. These matches place Israeli teams alongside others in international tournaments, helping normalize Israel's presence on the global stage. For many fans watching abroad, this main interaction with Israel is through football scores, players, and matches, not through the news. Another important factor is the role of Israeli players who have lived abroad. Footballers such as Yossi Benayoun, who played for major clubs like Liverpool and Chelsea, became well-known figures in the international football. Media interviews and match reports has often mentioned his background, connecting his success to Israel in a positive way. Academic researchers frequently describe such athletes as unofficial ambassadors of the country. Through their profession, talent, and personal stories, they represent their country in a human and relatable way, reaching audiences that politics rarely does. Diversity within Israeli football also plays a major role in shaping international perceptions. Israeli teams often include Jewish and Arab players playing together on the same side. This reality has been highlighted in reports by international media outlets such as the BBC Sport. These stories present Israel as a much more complex and multicultural society than it usually portrayed. Football shows moments of cooperation and shared goals, challenging the simplified image that dominate political coverage. Of course, football does not exist in a vacuum. Politics sometimes enter the stadium. Protests during matches involving Israeli teams are frequently discussed in articles, and sport and international relations. These moments remind us that football can also become a space for political expression. Still, Israel's continued participation in international football competitions demonstrate a commitment to global engagement through sport, even when tensions are present. What makes football especially powerful is that it focuses on human stories. Fans talk about goals, teamwork, rivalries, and emotions, experiences shared by people everywhere. Through football, Israel is seen not only as a place of conflict, but as a part of the world's shared sporting culture. In conclusion, books, academic articles, interviews, and credible media sources all suggest that football has had a meaningful impact on how is Israel perceived worldwide. While politics remains central to Israel's global image, football provides a different perspective, one built on diversity, talent, and common ground. Through the universal language of the game, Israel is sometimes seen not just as a political issue, but as a country connected to the same passions that unite fans across the world. Thank you for listening to this episode of our podcast about football in Israel. We hope to see you next time as well. We hope you enjoyed or at least learned something new. And that's it. Thank you very much.